Hello and welcome
And welcome to Face
to the
Zero.
first ever Part 8.
God damn it, don't follow the goddamn games cast.
Come on,
Get
Tim
enough of that
Geddes,
from
he's
Tim.
got Tim Geddes got that shit on lock right now. Shout out to Tim Geddes.
The first and last ever episode 12 of the games cast.
I love how they're just like,
God damn
yeah, unless we do a volume 2. And they're like, it doesn't fucking count.
God, I love Kinda Funny.
Yeah,
I love those
everybody.
guys.
If
I
you're
really
ever
wish I
listening
could go to
this-
the... I wish I could go to Kinda Funny live. But I don't know
I
what
know.
my life situation's gonna be.
Tom,
Might be living down in Texas at that point in time. I don't fucking know.
precisely Austin, not the other.
Yeah,
parts.
precisely Austin. Nowhere else in Texas would I live.
Fuck Dallas. Yeah! Cowboys suck! Packers, baby!
I don't give a shit about actual sports.
Tom, I want to start this
Yes.
off. You started playing a game called Axiom
Yes.
Verge. Came out on
Yes.
Tuesday, correct? Is that when you picked this fucker up?
Yes, it came out on Tuesday. Specifically, it's PS4 only at the moment.
Is it going to be on PC, do you know?
I think there are possible plans to turn it on to Vita, but I don't think there's actually any
Ooh.
plans to turn it on to onto PC. Just because, like, probably the most ridiculous part of the game. The most ridiculous part of the game is that it was 100% developed by one person.
Yeah, that's what I read.
One person made everything. He did the music, he did the art, he did the graphics, he did the coding, he did the game design. It was like, god damn, man, that's fucking awesome.
Well, if it's your life work, and obviously it's been ranged from reading reviews from freaking just other YouTubers commenting, kind of funny and all
Yeah.
that, saying that this game is fucking awesome.
Yeah, like, I loved it. If you want my basic opinion, I had loved it, but there are significant flaws that I can point out. Like, overall game feel, it's a Metroidvania game,
Okay?
and all your powers are more or less based off of glitches that you would normally find in the old NES, SNES era. Like, it's pretty cool what some of the things do that allow you to traverse. Like, one of the first major traversal items you get is that you can decode areas that look glitched on the map.
Really?
Yeah, and then that same weapon allows you to screw up enemies. You can use it on
Like
enemies, and
glitch
some
the enemy?
enemies, well, it glitches them and it turns their properties completely different. Like, one enemy, it fires a laser at you, and once you glitch it, the laser no longer hurts you and can hurt other enemies. So it essentially just turns it on your side. There's one
Yeah.
enemy that's just constantly spawns these things that just fly out. If you glitch that, it just releases health very slowly over time. So it's now just a health spot for you. But yeah, so it's a really cool mechanic, having to constantly glitch out into your enemies and do all these other things with them. So it's really cool. And then, like, one of your first traversal abilities is you can phase through walls that are one block thick.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like, and the way you do it is you literally just double tap the movement button while you're pressing, or while you're facing the wall. So it's just like
Really?
how some old SNES, NES games where you could just glitch through the wall if you just pressed right hard enough.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of really cool callbacks to the old type of glitches and shit that you would be able to find.
Huh. Yeah, because like I said, I just got this game because you bought it. And now I'm going to give my playthrough, and you've got me intrigued. Because back in the day, I used to play the old Metroid on the NES. I never played Super Metroid, even though I hear it's fucking awesome. Just pretty much played the first one.
I never actually played the original. The first Metroidvania style game I probably played was Metroid Prime on the GameCube. And apparently I started off great with my introduction to that type of game. This Metroid Prime is fucking amazing. I love that game so much.
Yeah. One of the best games on the GameCube, because it's a 10 out of 10 if you ask me, because that game is awesome.
That game is like perfection, even though like first time through it's actually relatively difficult. But like the second time through, then you just like get a serious sense of how you're supposed to play the game, and then it's fucking awesome to play. But back to Axiom Verge, like the aesthetic of it is the 16-bit era. It's a chiptune. It's like chiptune sound, like, but you mix it with a pretty steady actual bass beat.
Oh.
So like the intro music just starts off like the regular chiptune, and then the bass kicks in, and it's just like boom, 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 and then it's just fucking awesome. But yeah, so the music's actually really fucking good, especially since the guy who freaking designed the game made the music too. Is ridiculous.
The thing I heard about the game though is that you have to backtrack a lot. Is that true? Like, yeah. You kind of get a thing and then you gotta keep kind of wandering the map to figure out where you use that?
Yeah, there's some points where you just end up so essentially lost. Although, technically, the story arc of the game is not particularly long. It's not particularly long by itself. But it's just like all the rest of the gameplay time just goes from you trying to figure out where that power is supposed to take you to get farther along into the world. But there's not really too good of a way that they do that for you. And there's no real fast travel system.
Oh. Okay.
So, like, there's a minor fast travel system, I would call it. Because that's all it is there's one map. Like, there's like 7 or 8 maps in the game. One map is dedicated to just one long tunnel. and then it just has a monster in there that just takes you from one side to the other. And it attaches to like all the other worlds. But the problem is that you still have to get to that world in order to get to the fast travel spot. That's a pretty major annoyance with the game. For how much backtracking there is necessary to do everything in the game, which is kind of an inherent thing in the Metroidvania style genre.
Mm-hmm.
But without any real fast travel system, it takes too long, and you don't feel like you're making as much progress. Although he does kind of make up for it in the fact that you will almost guaranteed find like new weapons and a lot of upgrades and stuff with the new thing you unlocked along the way. But when you get proficient with Metroidvania style games, you don't want to do that. Like every time you get an upgrade, you don't want to have to research the entire map over again for just locations that only affect the one upgrade you got.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what he wanted to kind of allow, I guess would be a term for it. But yeah, it just ended up being a lot more backtracking than you'd ever really want. There's some backtracking element. There's sometimes where, not really with the backtracking, but how some of the items are hidden. It's just like, some of them are hidden like so well that there's no possible way I'd ever find them on my own.
So you used a guide
No.
Guide?
I never used the guide my entire walkthrough, but I didn't get 100% of the items. Because just for some of them that I did found, like finding them completely on accident, it's just like, there's no way I would ever find this on my own. It just wouldn't happen.
Huh.
And
there's
no like real way to with Super Metroid you can get the X-ray visor, which pretty much lets you pretty easily find hidden stuff. But it's kind of a slow process to use it. which is just kind of annoying. But there really doesn't exist one in this game, or if there is, I didn't find it, which would fucking suck. But some of them are just like, there's no indication as to what you can do. I mean, you can kind of see it in the background of the way the background looks for that map. It's really not like guaranteed like, oh, like this looks immediately like something that I could do with this new tool I got. It's like so vague in how some things are hidden.
Oh.
Like that it's kind of pretty frustrating at times, especially when you're trying to progress the game.
Yeah.
And you're trying to figure out what specifically spot and what world actually progresses you through the game to get the next major upgrade. It's just frustrating when you go back to all these levels and you're just like, oh, I can't do anything with the current tools I have. But then it just might be a fancy trick with the tools you just got that allows you to progress. And it's just like, it was hidden
Especially,
a bit too
if
well.
you went back there and then all of a sudden you realize that you didn't need to go back there, so you feel like you wasted time.
Yeah. Like, those are the super frustrating parts of the game. But the overall game feel of it is actually fucking awesome. I love how the game feels. It feels like the old SNES titles. It controls really well. Every weapon is unique and works really well in certain circumstances versus the others. So it gives you real reason to use the various weapons they give you. Although you'll end up finding your favorite that suits your playstyle.
Yeah.
And I know I missed at least one weapon. I was streaming the entire game, and I got to the final boss, and this guy, he was chatting it up with me. He said, this weapon works really well on these guys. And it's just like, I don't have that weapon. And
that's
the way you get it. Well, I figured out a way that was probably even faster than the way that he was thinking. Just by using a different weapon, and once I figured it out. But the boss designs are really good. Like, really fucking good. Just by how you have to, like, every way you encounter a boss, it's different every single time. So every boss feels super unique, and how you have to fight them is super unique. Except for the final boss. The final boss it kind of just threw out all the previous design out of the window.
Oh.
Like normally it's like the Metroidvania style where you can kind of dodge once you learn the enemy's movesets. You can finally figure it out. Oh, you dodge this way when he does this. You do that when he does that. You do that for all the bosses except for the final one. The final one, you have to hit one part on the map with your regular gunfire, and then he constantly spawns these minions that fight. But yeah, the final boss fight, like, he doesn't actually fight you. You have to destroy a thing on the wall that's like keeping him alive or something. And he just summons these 3 super fast minions that just constantly barrage you with gunfire. There's no possible way you can dodge. And like, the only way to do it is with your latest dash ability, which now damages enemies you dash through, and just frickin' open fire with a gun. Like, there's no real, like, strategy to it other than to just button mash and just keep firing. Whereas the other ones, you kind of had to...
button mashing.
Well, I am. Once I figured out that was the option, I beat them, like, easily, but it just kind of threw out the whole design of all the other bosses out of the window just by making the final boss so button mashy. So that I really didn't enjoy of it. But yeah, I'm talking way too long on what I didn't enjoy in the game, but overall it's amazing game. It's just that those flaws kind of punch you in the face every now and again.
Yeah. So $15 was the price range on the PlayStation Network. Yay? For $15,
I think it's
totally worth it?
20 actually.
I think PlayStation Plus, though, it's $17 or something.
Yeah.
Well, because they have that flash sale or something going on right now.
Yeah.
So it's probably cheaper.
Yeah, because it's like a spring weekly indie game.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome. They're releasing a hell of a lot of good games.
You know what one we didn't get?
Like Bastion comes out
Next
this week.
or tomorrow.
Or
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Which you said I need to play because I didn't play it on.
Bastion is a must play. That game is fucking amazing. Just how they tell the story in it is just incredible, and then the gameplay itself is fucking fun as hell.
The thing too that we didn't get yet, Hotline Miami 2.
Oh yeah.
Because God knows we're gonna get that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that eventually because that game's fucking hard as shit, but it's so much fun.
God damn,
and then Titan Souls comes out, which is like Dark Souls in a 2D style.
Is it?
Essentially, is what they're calling. Yeah, like it's like one-hit kills.
Really? I didn't know that. I seen it and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it.
It's supposed to be pretty tough. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'll like it or not. I'm gonna read up on reviews before I buy it. But it looks like it should be right up my alley. So I can't wait to play those other games. But yeah, Axiom Verge, old SNES style Metroidvania game. It's a lot of fucking fun. It's just a few things could have been designed a bit better.
Overall, what would you give it
backtracking and progressing? Well, I don't think I'd really give it a score. Score kind of demeans what it actually is.
Well, like, we could do our score on, like, good, fair.
I'd say it's a great game. I'd say it's great.
Put a number on it, because that's kind of douchey, like, meta scores.
Yeah.
Unless it's a really bad game, and then thank God that they gave it a
it's just
like,
score. Give it a score. But yeah, I'd say it's great. Like, the game feel, the gameplay, how it controls, the style, the aesthetic, the progression is fucking great. It's just that, that backtracking and the backtracking frustrations, and then the final boss kind of throwing things out the window was just kind of a bit of a sour note on what was otherwise a fucking fantastic game.
Well, good. I can't wait to play it, and then I can give you my review of the game later.
Yep. Which will probably cover a lot of the same topics that I did.
Probably. I mean, we kind of have I wouldn't say that we both enjoyed the same exact thing, but we're kind of like yin and yang on a lot, but for the most part,
I wouldn't say so. I mean, we line up a lot. I mean, we synced up our periods. I mean,
we bro out every now and then. I mean, you gotta bro.
Yeah.
And we bro down. God damn it, we bro the fuck down.
You wanted to talk about something next after this.
Well, it actually goes to the rant that you were going on prior about anime.
Prior to this episode.
Made me laugh that I felt that I wanted to hear this.
You wanted it to be recorded for all human history.
Yeah, you were specifically super pissed at Sword Art Online 1, episode 13-ish.
Yeah, I think it was episode
11,
13. It was
like
the end of the first arc.
Yeah, I think it was 13.
So,
because you got pissed at that arc, and I got pissed at the second arc that you guys actually enjoyed.
I didn't enjoy the second arc particularly well. There's one thing I always have to give Sword Art credit: is character development.
Well,
they actually make the characters like real, and I actually cared about what happened to them.
Right.
But
about why they got stuck in there, and
about why they got stuck on there, how they're developing together,
what their
how
plans
this world
are
is affecting who they actually are.
Yeah, what I liked when they were talking about, like, when they get out, that they're gonna meet up and everything, and I was like, man, that would be cool if they both get out and they actually meet up in real life and they get to
like
you kind
character
of feel like
development in the Sword Art Online is just so fucking good, and I really cared. And then like the whole aesthetic of being trapped in a game, I thought they did pretty well. They kind of did a few things, like kind of what you think of like when a sitcom covers gaming, where it's just like, this is what the gamers say and stuff like that. They did that a couple times, but for the most part it was actually relatively fresh ideas and stuff like that.
Now, before we get you to your kind of what you hate about the show, because I actually very much enjoyed Sword Art Online, I want to put this topic to you. Tom, if you could be stuck in a game, like if that was real life, and you were stuck, what type of game would it be?
What type of game?
I think you'd be an RPG kind of guy, just like Sword Art.
Yeah, I mean,
See,
obviously,
I'd
still want to make choices and have the choices matter.
See, I would like to be in an RPG because you can. I played a lot of World of Warcraft. Okay, back in the day.
Indeed,
so back
you
history.
have.
You could, you got a guild, so you got other people. Just like on Sword Art, you could go and have a house. Like if you were stuck in a game, it would still be like, hey, this is kind of like life. But yeah, so now I can just fucking rant myself about how, yeah, if you were trapped in a game like that, it would be cool because, like they did, they had a guild house where all your friends could go meet up at, and you would live, you could buy food and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd feel like...
It's eventually how we want to live our lives.
Yeah, I don't want to... Yeah, right? I want to be able to afford food. But like, like in a first-person shooter, what do? You just fucking shoot people. And...
Yeah.
There's no set home that you go to. You're just in a game. You're in a game. You're in a game. And if that was the kind of game that you would be in all the time,
24/7.
Let's be real. We'd be fucking dead.
That too.
I mean, I would probably last maybe a little longer than you. I'm not positive. I mean, sometimes you have really good games of Call of Duty.
Well, if we're playing Battlefield, I'd be fine.
Well, same. I would just be a sniper, and I would just sit in the back and just not do anything. I would last a long time. Hey, there's the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you jumped past it.
Yeah.
Train to nowhere. Ain't going anywhere. But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Son.
If we were to be into an RPG, it would be badass.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we're going to have to continue this on the next episode.
Yep. The next episode will contain my rant on the few things that I do not enjoy on anime. But to premise, I fucking love anime.
Yeah, let's put that out there.
I don't hate anime, but there are some things in anime that really piss me off and make me stop watching some when they start happening that way.
Stay tuned next time to find out what grinds Tom's gears.
You know what grinds my gears? Laters.
Bye.